now. Welcome everyone to today's webinar. Today we'll be discussing some of the announcements from this year's Ignite conference and the themes they discussed. With me today is Andrew Sloan, a fellow cloud strategist who comes to Planet with many years as a customer success manager with Microsoft. We also have Matt Nevins, who is our cloud strategist for the Department of Defense Industrial Base and GCC High customers. And finally, we have Zach Blankenship, who's our senior consultant with our endpoint management team, and he is going to discuss some of the announcements for Intune and Edge. Welcome, Andrew, Matt, and Zach. For more information about today's program, make sure you check out our blog on this topic that was posted last week. We also included some really useful links at the end of this presentation as we were doing research for the show, so definitely check them out. I'll be hitting on some of them and making sure you definitely want to take a look at a specific Agent 365 link that I just found incredibly fascinating. So let's go ahead and get started. So let's talk about the agenda today. First, as with all Ignite conferences, Microsoft always sets the stage with themes or messages they want to reinforce over the next year. Then we'll get into some of the new terms that you're going to hear more about over the next year and how they support the themes and announcements. Finally, we'll get into some of the announcements that we think you'll be interested in and will have impact on you all over the next year. Please keep in mind that most of what you're hearing today is in preview and will be coming to you to your commercial tenants first, probably starting in the March-April timeframe or later. And obviously GCC and GCC High customers will typically see these changes even later. If we have more updated information on specific items, we'll talk about them during the presentation, but just know that most of these items are still in preview and not much detail is there for us to announce. And of course, we will have lots of time for questions, although again, some of the details aren't there yet, so we'll try our best to answer those questions. So let's first start off with an anonymous poll. If you can go ahead and launch that, Casey, that'd be awesome. We want to know, this year was about M365 Copilot and chat, but this next year coming up is all about agents. So we're kind of curious about where you are on your agent journey. So have you started yet? Are you still evaluating? Are you waiting for some more security and admin capability? Or did you already have broad adoption? Have you deployed something into production and using it successfully? If we have time at the end, I'd love to hear about it. So please put your your results, your poll answers in the window here, and we'll be going over them. These are all anonymous, so please don't hesitate putting your results in. All right. So let's take a look at some of the themes discussed this year. Democratization of AI, rise of the AI agent era, AI and office productivity, unified intelligence fabric. We're going to talk about Work IQ, Fabric IQ, Foundry IQ, what IQ is all about. And then we'll finally talk about governance and security for all. So one of the most significant themes at Ignite this year was the democratization of AI, aimed at making advanced capabilities accessible to all organizations regardless of size or budget. Microsoft lowered the barriers to AI adoption, announcing that Microsoft 365 users will have access to basic AI features regardless of paid Copilot license, and introducing a new affordable Copilot business plan for small and medium businesses. We'll talk more about that in a second as we deep dive on the next few slides. Another theme was the rise of the AI agent era. Microsoft induced the shift from reactive copilots to anonymous AI agents that can perform complex tasks, make decisions, and collaborate with humans. We'll also get into the new term called agent mode. What does this all mean? You're going to hear about it, so we want to make sure you guys are familiar with the word agent mode. Microsoft is working hard on the operationalization of agents, positioning artificial intelligence not just as an assistant Copilot, but as an autonomous workforce capable of multiple step tasks. A central concept was the Frontier Firm, an organization that embeds AI across every layer of its business. We'll talk more about what Frontier means and how it can be turned on in a few slides here. Next, Unlimited Intelligence Fabric was introduced with the new term Work IQ, or just IQ across a couple different disciplines. Microsoft unveiled a new intelligence architecture designed to give AI agents a deeper real-time understanding of business context. So Work IQ learns from Microsoft 365 data, things like email, files, meetings, to provide personalized context for Copilot. Fabric IQ connects analytical and time series data to provide business meaning, and Foundry IQ is a knowledge retrieval layer that grounds agents over multiple data points. The theme of governance and security was huge at this conference and was emphasized as a foundation for this new era we're coming into. Enhancements across Microsoft Defender, Entra, Purview were announced, with some security features now being included for Microsoft 365 E3 and E5 customers to provide AI-first autonomous defense capabilities. One of the most exciting announcements was Agent 365. This one is really exciting for managing and securing these new AI agents. A major focus was on managing and securing these new AI agents, and we'll dig deeper into that announcement as well. So what does it take? What does it all say about this next year? These themes collectively signal that AI is no longer an optional add-on, but a foundational operating system for modern enterprises with the infrastructure, security, and governance tools needed to deploy it at scale. So if you were hesitant about launching agents in that last poll, I think you're going to hear some really great things today about some of the tools that are going to come available in this next year. So let's start talking about the first term, Frontier Program. The Frontier Program has been around since about March of last year, and it was introduced with the researcher and analyst agents. These are called Frontier Agents. The Frontier Program is Microsoft's early access preview for experimental AI features and agents and new Copilot experiences. It allows organizations to test features before they become generally available and provide feedback. So how do you turn it on? In order for your organization to gain access to this preview agents, your tenant must be part of the Frontier Preview Program, and you have to agree to the terms and services. The preview disclaimers in your customer agreements also apply. So first, you're going to have at least one Microsoft 365 Copilot license in your tenant. Then you'll want to go to the M365 admin pane, click on Settings, select Users, click Copilot Frontier, and then decide which features you want to give users access to, the web apps, the desktop, mobile, or agents. After you've granted users and groups access to the Copilot Frontier program, go to Agents from the left pane and to get started. You might be prompted to agree to the terms and services at this point. So now let's take a deeper dive onto the theme of democratization of AI. Microsoft announced that by early 2026, enhanced capabilities in Copilot Chat will be available to all Microsoft 365 users, specifically those without a paid Copilot license. This move ensures that AI-driven productivity enhancements such as email summarization, meeting preparation, and document drafting become standard features for every user. Yes, you heard it right. Chat-only users will now have access to some features that were only available in the paid M365 Copilot license, but still with a limited ability. First, we have the Copilot Chat for All. Many features will now be available even without the paid license. Microsoft announced Copilot Chat will understand your inbox. So now you're going to have access to Microsoft Chat. It's going to be able to see your inbox, your calendar, and include access to agent mode, which we'll talk about in a second, by enabling you to work iteratively with Copilot to create high-quality documents, spreadsheets, and presentations. Additionally, Microsoft, for you smaller organizations out there in the business world, Microsoft created the Microsoft 365 Copilot Business Plan, which is a reduced cost of $21 per SKU, tailored for your agencies of less than 300 users. These two announcements are exciting in that they'll enable a broad organizational transformation, giving every employee, regardless of role, access to intelligent assistance. For the theme of Rise of AI Agent Era, AI in the office productivity, key announcements included administrative agents like new admin agents in Teams and SharePoint proactively resolving issues such as cleaning up permissions or provisioning Teams workspaces, thereby reducing manual IT work, and agent mode, where users can delegate multi-step drafting reports, analyzing data, building slide decks with conversational back and forth refinement with Microsoft apps like Word and Excel. Currently, think of agent mode as the next evolution in Microsoft 365 Copilot Chat. Instead of giving you one quick answer, which we've all probably used in this last year, agent mode actually works inside a Word, Excel, soon PowerPoint, to handle multi-step tasks directly in your document or spreadsheet. In the past, Copilot was very reactive, right? You asked, it answered. Agent mode is more proactive and iterative. It plans, acts, checks, refines like a smart coworker embedded in your file. For example, in Excel, you can say, create a monthly budget report with charts and various analysis. Agent mode will clean and organize your data, build formulas and pivot tables, generate charts, and then validate those results and adjust if needed. Microsoft says this is part of a bigger trend called vibe working, which is continuous collaboration between humans and AI across apps. One other announcement in this theme included Outlook Copilot enhancements, improved email summarization, smart replies, scheduling assistant, and new mobile voice mode brings hands-free productivity. Teams and other apps, Teams gains Copilot for meeting summarization, voice interaction, and on-the-go chat features. Finally, Microsoft has expanded its AI model ecosystem by partnering with Anthropic, and I hear more models are to come, bringing Claude models into the Copilot environment alongside OpenAI's offerings. This multi-model approach provides flexibility and performance optimization for diverse business needs. So no longer do you only get one, you can actually going to start to be able to choose which model you want to use in your Copilot chat sessions. And now the scary one, right? We now have AI video making capabilities in M365 Copilot with the integration of Sora 2 AI video making capabilities. So should be an interesting year getting access to those tools. The next thing I want to talk about is the Unified Intelligence Fabric. For this, we need to look at Microsoft's new IQ stack. It's in Work IQ, Fabric IQ, and Foundry IQ. Think of these as the context or brain layers that make Copilot and AI agents act like they understand our business, not just our prompts. This real-time intelligence is a key differentiator from simply connecting tools like ChatGPT and connectors, providing a far more contextual and powerful experience within your work environment. Work IQ powers the new agent mode, allowing iterative document creation, refining through natural language prompts. If you haven't used the new voice capabilities of Copilot Chat, it's amazing. It's like you're talking to a human being now, following up on every single question you ask it. By leveraging the organizational data securely, Work IQ helps reduce repetitive tasks, improve productivity, and maintain compliance. It also integrates with the Microsoft Graph to provide contextual insights, making Copilot smarter and more adaptive to user needs. This innovation represents a major step towards human-agent collaboration where AI agents act as proactive partners rather than passive tools. Organizations adopting Work IQ can expect improved workflow efficiency, better decision-making support, and enhanced user satisfaction. Think of Work IQ as a personal work context. It understands people, teams, content, such as emails, files, and messages to deliver personalized content for Copilot and agents. Fabric IQ as the business data context. It understands metrics, entities, relationships, and connects analytical and time series data, enabling agents to interpret business trends and operational metrics. Foundry IQ is knowledge access context. It retrieves and grounds answers with sources like knowledge retrieval layer, grounding agents across internal applications and external sources to reduce hallucinations and improve accuracy. Put simply, Work IQ knows how we work. Fabric IQ knows what the business means, and Foundry IQ knows where the knowledge lives. Together, these components create a semantic backbone for enterprise AI, allowing agents to make more informed decisions and execute tasks. So how does this work? Work IQ was positioned as a multi-level intelligence layer that delivers company-specific, job-specific, and user-specific data to inform Microsoft 365 and agents. This was not about smarter tools or models or even a new first-party agent, but instead it was about Microsoft playing true to the initial vision of Copilot, where, unlike other AI tools, are about a new layer of contextual intelligence that adapts to how your organization works. So they built it basically on three pillars: data, memory, and finally inference, right? Data works with Work IQ, and it works with your work data, and it knows all your emails, kind of some stuff we're already familiar with, right? This memory is a new thing. If you haven't checked this out, this is really cool. We're going to talk about it on the next slide. Memory is your specific preferences, your habits, your workflows. It builds memory from your unique styles and preferences and habits. If you haven't checked this out, you're going to be amazed. Finally, inference. It's about connecting the dots, predicting the next actions, and recommending the right agent. By combining data and memory, Work IQ uses inference to make valuable connections, unlock insights, and predict next steps delivered to tailored experience. To summarize, Work IQ brings content, memory, and AI-based thinking related to those assets. This is the start of building a relevancy engine for Microsoft 365 Copilot that is distinctly different than any other of the products on the market. So with Copilot Memory, you can think of this as your instructions for Copilot Chat, with memory turned on for all chats or just some. You can decide on a chat-by-chat basis. If you want to try this out, go to Copilot Chat and say, please review my recent sent emails and describe my tone and style. When you get the results, just type, please remember this. That's the key word, please remember this, and it is saved into memory. You can then ask it to remember anything about you, like where you live, whatever your preferences are. And at any time, you can go to the three dots in the upper right corner of chat and click on the settings, personalization, then Copilot memory, and see everything it knows about you. It's a very cool feature, and it's available now if you want to try it out. As AI adoption accelerates, governance and security have become critical priorities. Microsoft addressed these concerns through several key areas unveiled at Ignite, basically by building agents into all layers of the security stack as you see above. Here you can see the different technologies and all the new agents that are being created to help admins. Please note that to start using them, you need to be in the Frontier program I discussed earlier, so make sure you get yourself set up on that. I think Zach's going to talk about some of these, especially around Intune in the later slides coming up here. We don't have time to go over all these agents, but as you can see, there's agents now built into Defender, Entra, Intune, and Purview, and there's overall, there's over like 12 new agents, and I'm sure more to come. Here's some of the new security items I want to discuss briefly. Entra Agent ID. These are AI agents now receive their own secure identity, enabling authentication, permissions, conditional access, and full audit trails. Basically, you can treat an agent just like a human being now with Entra ID. Purview protections for AI. Copilot respects DLP and compliance rules, blocking responses that could reveal sensitive information. New observability tools track AI activity and fix oversight sharing issues. And then finally, baseline security mode. This is in general availability as well. One-click option applies recommended security settings across M365, ensuring AI deployments start with a secure foundation. I'd like to see the details more on that one myself. With this next one, when I saw it, I could hardly believe it. Security Copilot will now be included for all M365 E5 customers in the upcoming months. If you're a current customer, you can start using it already. But if you're an E5 customer, be on the lookout. You're going to get a 30-day heads up that it's coming. But if you're not familiar with Security Copilot supports various use cases such as SOC teams can simplify phishing triage and incident response with agents that classify alerts, summarize threats, and guide remediation. Identity teams can strengthen access controls and reduce risk with agents that optimize conditional access policies and automate access reviews. Data security teams can strengthen data protection and compliance with agents built to help triage alerts and discover sensitive data. So there's something pretty much for everyone here. And it's available that immediately for current customers. My favorite announcement was Agent 365, and it's now available in Microsoft 365 Admin Center as part of the Frontier program. Think of Agent 365 as the control plane for AI agents. Whether your agents are created with Microsoft platforms, open source, third party, Agent 365 can help you deploy, organize, and govern them securely. Agent 365 is a unified dashboard for managing all AI agents. Admins can register, monitor, govern agent activity, set permissions, and identify unauthorized shadow agents. Agent 365 gives each AI agent its own Microsoft Entra ID for identity, lifecycle, and access management. It also allows agents to be observable and managed in the Microsoft Admin Center. Advanced compliance features include Microsoft Purview to safeguard sensitive data to monitor agent interactions, while Security Copilot can now be included for all M365E customers, delivers AI-driven threat protection and autonomous defense capabilities with their agents. These advancements extend zero trust principles to AI environments, enabling organizations to maintain rigorous security compliance. In addition, AI agents can be given Agent 365 capabilities that empower these agents to listen for tool notifications and take actions directly within productivity tools. For instance, they can have an email box or a OneDrive. Think of these agents now as human beings, and they can have the same resources as humans do. I put a link at the end of this presentation to watch one of the best demos I've ever seen Microsoft produce and showcase one of their new products. This new admin tool will blow you away. Definitely take a look at it. The best place to begin with Agent 365 is right inside the Admin Center. Here, security and operations staff can find advanced identity and network controls in Microsoft Entra, data protection and compliance safeguards in Microsoft Purview, threat protection in Microsoft Defender, This gives IT a single control plane to manage users, apps, and agents while enabling security, identity, and compliance teams to operate confidently with existing environments. These controls enable organizations to adopt AI with confidence. AI agents are now trackable, permission-bound, and governed, critical for compliance and risk reduction. And I'm going to stop right there because I have been talking nonstop. Let's see if we have any questions in the chat window. Nothing yet, but it looks like you guys did some polling, so that's awesome. It looks like a lot of folks have been holding off, or no broad adoption. I'm not surprised there. I would have expected maybe one or two, but it looks like most of them are not started yet, evaluating, or waiting for security and admin capabilities. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Zach. Zach, if you're ready to take over and start talking about some of the Edge updates that came about in Intune, that'd be awesome. Zach?
Yep. So Microsoft announced quite a few new security changes around Edge. The first one being is the Edge browser can now handle some DLP policies. So before, if you had DLP policies applied to certain file types, they would either be ignored or be unable to be enforced, or direct you into a desktop viewing experience. Now in the Edge browser, you'll be able to have watermark overlays on files, on admin portals, and clipboard controls as well. So you'll be able to prevent users from copying out of M365 and pasting in an uncontrolled environment. This will still allow you to copy and paste inside of M365 services, just not outside of them.
That's huge.
And then
now you can block people from taking company data and putting it in maybe even a different search engine or anything like that.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. And it respects DLP policies. It's not just a across the board thing. So however you're using DLP policies now, you don't have to change anything to start leveraging this.
Awesome.
MAM was also rolled out for Edge. So it's for MAM policies that you're currently applying to Edge devices. These are restricted to your organization as of right now. What Microsoft did is they expanded how MAM works. So now it is applied at the profile level on Edge. So you, in an organization, can have your device managed by another organization that didn't provision your device, so that you maybe need to access their resources. This is huge for third-party consultants, where you can allow them in on a device owned by another organization and still have some data protection controls there. And go ahead and go to the next one. Thank you. And then Intune got a bunch of adjustments as well. The first one, in the theme of AI everywhere, Security Copilot added in a bunch of new Intune agents. The first one is a change review agent. If you're using multi-admin approval inside of Intune, this agent will now review that proposed change and give an answer on if it thinks that change should be made or not. It doesn't actually approve or deny. It just gives that feedback for whatever admin comes in and approves this. This is only if you're using multi-admin approval, which does have some limitations currently, but I'm hoping this gets Microsoft working to get all of Intune supporting multi-admin approval. A device offboarding suggestions agent. This will proactively look through quite a few different portals to try and identify devices that belong to users that have since left the organization, or the device has been retired, and go ahead and help you quickly remediate and remove those devices from portal, just to help declutter everything. A policy configuration agent. This shows a lot of potential. The demonstrations for this were a little bit lacking, but the written explanations were great. The idea is you would be able to upload a compliance document to Intune. It will then review your environment, what you're doing, determine if you're meeting those compliance goals, and if you're not, provide new policies that will help you meet those goals. With the idea of you could just take a CMMC compliance document, upload it, and it'll start working on that immediately. I cannot personally, I cannot wait to get my hands on this. I'm very much looking forward to this one. And then Copilot was also granted access to way more Intune data. So before, it basically just had access to the device page, the config profile page, and that was about it. Now it gets access to autopilot data, endpoint privilege management data, and advanced analytics. So Copilot's going to have a really clear picture of what's happening on those devices and why. If we can go to, thank you. And then additional to this, remote recovery is a feature that isn't just Intune exclusive. This is coming to Windows as a whole, regardless of their management. The Windows recovery environment that I'm sure we've all seen when your device doesn't want to boot for whatever reason is going to have support for being networked. So in consumer devices, this is going to be a solution where the recovery environment can connect to the Microsoft Cloud and pull down an update that fixes whatever the problem is that's causing the recovery environment to be triggered. But for managed devices, this extends where we can now connect that recovery environment to Intune and push scripts to devices in a recovery environment without having to touch them. This requires some level of pre-configuration, and it is primarily meant for wired devices. It does work with Wi-Fi in some very limited cases, but it's primarily meant for wired devices. So devices sitting in a dock are the perfect target for this. And this is to prevent another CrowdStrike incident where update goes out, it causes a lot of problems. Now, when those problems are caused, you can go ahead and proactively remediate those. And then if you're utilizing the Enterprise App Catalog, which is Microsoft's solution for app packaging, where they package up a few hundred applications just so you have a few easy click deployments. If you're utilizing that, you'll now be able to deploy PowerShell scripts alongside it. Currently, you just deploy it however Microsoft packaged it. Now you'll be able to do customizations and cleanup tasks alongside that deployment. And then endpoint security for Windows got quite a few changes here. So there was a architecture shift, again, to prevent another CrowdStrike incident, where EDR tools are being forced out of kernel mode and into user mode. This means they start later in the boot process, but this also means that a failed update to an EDR solution cannot take down the entire computer. This is the first step of a shift in Windows architecture. Next, drivers are going to be made to move out of kernel mode. So in the near future, we're going to be seeing lots of updates to EDR solutions, lots of updates to drivers that are deployed. Sysmon is also now going to be included in Windows 11 and Server 2025 and future versions after that. This is going to be off by default, but it will be included. So they're really reducing the barrier to entry. So now, instead of needing to get Sysmon deployed everywhere and configured, you can just find a known good configuration and get that deployed just to start collecting those logs and then start tweaking from there. And passkeys, which I'm sure we've all seen on just about every website we're logging into these days, are now able to be synced with your Windows Hello identity.
Nice.
So instead of having to try to sync those passkeys in some other password safe, you can now sync them right with Windows Hello. And then Edge got quite a few AI-related features. Microsoft is broadly referring to all of these as Copilot mode. The first one they got is Agent mode, and this allows Copilot from the Edge sidebar to take actions on a website on the user's behalf. This does require those websites to be added to an allow list ahead of time, and a Copilot license is required. They're reworking the new tab page. It will no longer just have a search bar and news. Instead, it's going to have a Copilot chat window and a bunch of pre-written prompts you can go to, links to calendar events, tasks from your to-do, and the option to generate a daily briefing, which is a on-demand summary of your day, what you can expect, what you need to focus on. And then multi-tab reasoning. This will allow Copilot to pull data, not just from the tab you have open in front of you, but from up to 30 open tabs. And this includes if you opened up a PDF in Edge, or you opened up a M365 app or file in Edge, it can go ahead and reason with those as well.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that one. I think it'll make getting more
this
grounded
one too. This next one you're going to talk
help.
about is really cool too. This YouTube one.
Yeah, YouTube video summarization is a really interesting offering. It doesn't currently require a license, but I'm a bit skeptical on that part. But it allows you to interact with a YouTube video through Copilot chat. So you can ask it to summarize it. You can ask it questions about the content of the video, and it will actually respond with timestamps to the YouTube videos. Now, the reason I'm a little bit skeptical in that is just because of the amount of processing that has to go into that. But we'll see when this rolls out what the licensing requirements actually look like. And then intelligent browsing history. Instead of needing to know the subject line of the website or the domain, you can now use natural language to search through your browsing history up to 3 months old. Past that point, Copilot isn't indexing it. And this will be, whenever this is launched, this will be 3 months going forward. It won't go back through your previous history.
That's cool. So you could use Copilot. I went to this website and it had this on it, but I can't find it anymore. Can you find it for me?
Exactly. You just explain basically what you were looking at, and
Yeah.
it's going to try its best to
That's
find
pretty
that for you.
awesome. Thanks, Zach. I appreciate all those updates. Those were exciting.
Of course.
All right. Andrew, if you could talk to us about some notable, like we have something for everybody, right? A little Intune, a little Copilot. Now we got some Azure updates as we're starting to wrap things up. So, Andrew, talk to us a little bit about Azure.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of Azure and AI announcements, outside of things like Frontier and M365. Probably do a whole session on that, but I did put a few of the notable ones here on the slide. Azure App Services now has a managed instance. I think that's going to be a game changer.
Yeah.
I'll talk a little more about that on the next slide, with a little more details. From a data services perspective in Azure, DocumentDB and HorizonDB, both of those are really more aligned to those AI and ML use cases in Azure. The DocumentDB is really a rebranded of the MongoDB services, and HorizonDB is one that's really going to be used for leveraging those mission critical and AI workloads. SQL Server 2025, that doesn't sound very exciting, but it actually is pretty exciting. It's actually been built, to really be able to leverage AI, right? So for developers and for AI use cases, SQL Server 2025 is GA now, and it's been built for that purpose as well. And it also will have integrations into cloud services too. So Azure Copilot, that's been around for a little bit, but it's certainly getting a major boost here with what administrators can do inside the Azure portal. And I think Microsoft coined the term agentic cloud ops as it relates to Azure Copilot agents. So it's yet another agent, and we've already heard some about agents related to administrators inside of portals. This is one for Azure. So helping with migration and troubleshooting, optimization, you can do that right in the portal or in the CLI from that administrative standpoint. APIM governance is something that, it's also the theme throughout Ignite, right? That governance and security was a big theme. And this is also followed here in APIM governance as well. So stronger governance compliance controls around the APIM services, which is important when you think about AI, right? So those architectures that are more AI driven need that security focus. So especially using the APIM services, and so that was important to continue to bake more of an AI and security focus into that. Azure Foundry, renamed to Microsoft Foundry. Could probably spend an hour talking about Microsoft Foundry. And so, I would encourage you to take a look at that, when you're thinking about those enterprise apps that you're going to develop and you're going to build, leveraging Microsoft Foundry. So there's also a notion of a Foundry control plane in there, and that's where you can apply governance at runtime and as you build agents as well yourself. From an enterprise perspective, there's a lot of work that's been done inside of Foundry so that it will allow you to pick a lot of different templates and models. So, you've already heard even today about the new models that's in place that's available to leverage in the platform. So you get a lot of autonomy on the models that you want to pick as you're building agents with Foundry too. And then there's several integrations with Foundry so that there's an actual catalog that you can go as you're building agents with Foundry and reach out and pull in some of these other integrations and services. But Databricks and Redis cache is two that's fairly popular that you can also leverage from right inside of Foundry as well.
I mean, you want to spend a little bit more time on this one because this one has some really important things for legacy apps, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, a lot of customers have begun over the last few years to take advantage of modernization efforts in leveraging platform services in Azure. Moving out of infrastructure related services into platform services where you're passing cost and risk onto whomever is hosting the platform, in this case with Azure and Microsoft, and you're taking less of the burden for managing the underlying infrastructure, platform services. But app service has been very popular use for customers, but one of the difficult things with app service is when you have applications that have heavy dependencies, right, with the Windows features and registry and all of these things. And so you can't just move those into Azure App Service seamlessly. And so the point of managed instance is to really give you the ability to do that. There's things like PowerShell capabilities that's really going to make install scripts and configure dependencies be able to do that with those existing applications that you have on premise now, so that you can get them into Azure, and then you can continue to iterate on that and modernize once they're on the platform service. So it's going to allow you to do that, to pull those out of some of those dependent and unsupported frameworks that you have and get them into Azure, where you can start to take advantage of scalability, right, and security and reducing operational costs. So I think this is going to be a game changer, especially for people who still have some legacy applications that want to get them into the cloud. But I don't want to make a choice the only way to get it in there is to spin up a VM in Azure, or
Right.
to leverage something that's even, that's a good option, but it's more costly, like an app service environment, right? That's a place you can do that, but that's expensive, especially when you're talking maybe one or two smaller legacy
Yeah.
applications. So.
Yeah, this one's exciting. Thanks, Andrew. Appreciate that. So next, we're wrapping up here, but there's a couple more things we're going to talk about GCC High just briefly, because we did a whole episode on it for the Defense Industrial Base and the GCC High customers about a week or two ago. So if you're interested in all the details about getting ready for Copilot and GCC High and all that, Matt Nevins is your man. Matt, go ahead and take it away here.
Yeah, so Christmas came early came late, very late for those of us in the Defense Industrial Base. Been waiting a long time for Microsoft Copilot to hit GCC High. That did take place and became available on December 1st, with rolling out to tenants. All the tenants we've seen that have purchased have seen it light up. And so there's quite a bit to unpack here, right? And in the DIB side, right, this is really in its infancy. And so if you go to the next slide, Ken, we'll talk about some of the feature availabilities. So as you can see, really, it's focused on M365 Copilot and not much more beyond that. And there are some caveats to this as well. You can see that it's across the modern work stack, as well as some purview capabilities. And really what this is the starting point, back almost, we can think about 18 months ago, where we were in M365 Copilot in commercial. And while, it's disappointing that there's not more features available on day one, Microsoft has stated that there is a wave 2 coming in Q1 of 26 that will bring a lot more features, including agents. There's really the biggest capability there. So as Ken mentioned, we did do a whole session on this last week. And so if you're interested in that and you weren't registered for it, reach out to Casey, and he'll be able to get you the recording and content for that, so you can go ahead and listen to that session. There was a lot of deep dives in there around features and capabilities, around some of the security and compliance aspects that are specific to the Defense Industrial Base. And so feel free to do that. And if you have additional questions, as Ken mentioned, reach out to me, and happy to navigate those waters with you.
Thanks, Matt. That's awesome. Yeah, it's been a long wait. Finally, at least the start of it. So just hang on a few more minutes. This is some really exciting news here. First, Microsoft is adding enhanced email security features of Microsoft Defender for Office 365 Plan 1 to Office 365 E3 users and G3 users, and Microsoft 365 E3 users, right? So to help detect and protect against phishing malware, malicious links across their email and collaboration platforms. In addition, Microsoft is including URL checks in Office 365 E1, Business Basic, Business Standard, which help protect against known malicious websites when users click on links in email and Office apps. So this is like the number one thing. Like I'm so excited about this, because a lot of folks, purchase Proofpoint to be able to do these URL checking to help with the phishing attack stuff. This is now going to be included with all Office 365 E3 and M365 E3 customers, and some capabilities in E1 even. So really exciting news here that this is coming. What does this mean? It means that previously you had to have E5 security add-on or the full or just buy the Defender for Office 365 Plan 1, and now it's being included in the suite. Additionally, I don't know, Zach, if you're still on, I know there's some Intune announcements here, things if you want to talk about those real quick, otherwise we can talk about them.
Yeah, of course. The Intune suite, which has been a series of add-ons to Intune that a lot of people are interested in, but has been prohibitively expensive for several years now, is going to become free to E5 license holders and partially free to E3 license holders as part of a broader licensing increase. So this is going to pick us up a lot of new features like Intune Remote Help, Intune Advanced Analytics, Endpoint Privilege Management, and Enterprise Application Management. Those are the biggest ones I see customers really interested in, and they do a lot to simplify Intune management, cut down on third-party services, and simplify security as well. So for those users that do need to be an administrator for whatever reason, now you can demote them to a normal user and let them elevate on demand with a reason for why they need to elevate, or elevate just certain apps on demand. It can bring down the number of administrators in your environment to as close to 0 as you can get. And enterprise application management, something I touched on before, cuts down so much when it comes to application packaging and deployment. It's a real-time saver.
Great to know. That's awesome. And Andrew, I know you said that you've had when you were at Microsoft, you said you saw a lot of folks buying the cloud PKI. So that's now coming with E5 as well. So that's pretty exciting news.
Yeah, exactly. People definitely going to get more bang for your buck here. So
yeah, they're giving you these things, but it looks like there's going to be a small increase of $3 per user. So let's not get too excited. But they are giving you a whole lot more value, because think about it. If you could get rid of possibly some of these third-party phishing attack solutions like Proofpoint, which I have personally seen many Proofpoints go away after buying Defender for 365, certainly a lot of value here for that extra $3 per month. And these effects are going to take place, I believe, in the July 1st timeframe. So probably your next EA renewal, you'll probably start hearing about these things. So just want to bring these things up. Some exciting news here about what's included in the different levels, especially the E1 level, the E3 level, getting Defender for about Plan 365 Plan 1. All right. Just wrapping up here, this slide, really busy, but basically goes over the different themes and all the announcements that we talked about today and why it matters. So I thought I'd be good just to put a little summary slide in here. We would love to do one more poll. Which of the following Ignite 2025 themes do you believe will have the greatest impact on your organization's productivity and security in 2026? Is it A, democratization of AI, rise of AI agent era, unified intelligence fabric, governance and security, or not sure yet, need more information? I don't know if you made this multiple selection, Casey, or not, but if not, I guess choose the one that you're thinking would be the most important for have the biggest impact on your organization. All right. Any questions? We haven't really seen too many questions. I know there's not much detail on a lot of these things since they're all in since they're all in Frontier program and preview. But would certainly entertain any questions today, since we got Matt and Zach and Andrew on the call as well. I know we received one question about the parity of A5 and E5. Andrew, I don't know if you want to talk about that for a second. It was kind of hard to get that answer, but go ahead.
yeah, from an A5 to E5, from a SKU difference, I think the question was, are we going to see more parity between those two in the future? And I don't know that. I mean, there's a lot of parity right now. There are a couple of things in there that's not in A5. You're thinking about Defender and vulnerability management, that kind of thing. So there's not a lot of gaps, but I think, my thought is that you kind of, we'd be happy to have a follow-up conversation too, to understand which features you're seeing the gap in, because I don't find anything specifically that Microsoft's talking about we're going to close the gap from an academic to an enterprise SKU. They're awfully close now, so it's probably worth digging in to find out specific use case and where that gap is there, I think so.
Thanks, Andrew. Any other questions that we can help you with today? All right. Well, if you haven't onboarded to the You Already Own It program, please make sure you do. If you haven't onboarded and it's been a long time, please make sure you get possibly a new onboarding session. We've got over 28 workshops, some of the newer ones. This Defender for Cloud briefing, this is a brand new one. This MIP labeling and information protection is a new one. We've got some additional, agent and co-pilot briefings, the decision matrix, AI envisioning, Copilot agent briefing. This one's really exciting. The first hour, it's a 2-hour program workshop with you. The first hour is all about the different types of agents and some demos of the agents. And then the second hour is all about hinting at Agent 365, basically talking about the back end. How do you operationalize agent management and monitor that? So now, like I said, it's a 2-part kind of 2-hour program. The first part definitely for business people. The second part more for the operations folks who are maintaining your systems. But lots of great stuff here. If you want some details, absolutely follow up with your account executive, cloud strategist, or the You Already Own It team, Casey or Kim. We spent lots of time putting together these links for you. I bolded the really cool video that I talked about the Agent 365 demo, mentioning it was one of the best demos I've ever seen. If you want to take a look at it, it's this one right here that's bolded, but the rest of the stuff is really exciting too. Talks a little bit about the Frontier program, Agent 365 if you want to learn more about it, and then some security Copilot stuff that's now included in all your E5 licenses. Book of News is here, which is about all the announcements and links to all the details and blogs behind all the announcements. And of course, the Ignite page, which has links to all the breakout sessions at Ignite, because most of us weren't able to go to the session live or in person. So save the date. Our next session for Cloud Office Hours is going to be December 29th. Please mark your calendar, put a hold on it. As always, if you have topics that you'd like to discuss, please put them in the chat window, or you can reach out to the account team. We would love to hear how we did today from a 1 to 5 usefulness, 5 being very useful. I think Casey's going to put that up here in a second. And as we wrap up another year, it's clear that Microsoft is committed to pushing the boundaries of AI technology and giving us an AI platform that can be secured, controlled, monitored, and grow adoption. Ignite 2025 showcased a future where AI agents and intelligent applications work seamlessly together, redefining how we interact with technology and achieve our daily tasks. The pace of innovation is only accelerating, and these announcements are just the beginning of a truly AI-driven work environment. Ignite 2025 showcased a future where AI is widespread, autonomous, secure, data-driven, and deeply embedded in everyday work. With lower licensing prices, more value in your licenses, new AI agents, robust governance controls, modernized data systems, and powerful productivity enhancements, Microsoft enables organizations to adopt AI safely and at scale. The message is clear. AI is no longer optional. It's the new foundation of the modern workplace. It should be the goal of every organization to understand what is available from a platform perspective to get the most out of your new AI tools. These announcements from Ignite are just a glimpse of what's to come, and I can't wait to see these tools and how they will shape the future of our work. Happy holidays from all of us here at Planet Technologies. Here's to a productive and secure Microsoft 365 environment in your new year. That's a wrap. If you'd like a follow-up on any of these items that we talked about, please reach out to your team or send an email to youalreadyownit@go-planet.com. We'll see you all next year. Thanks for joining us.